What's up, everybody? Welcome to 2021, and thank you for checking out my article and all my other articles in Shutter Magazine. This month I'm talking all about building better boudoir photos. Now, as a wedding photographer, I can't tell you how valuable it is to learn the skill of boudoir photography. And why is that? Well, they're kind of like lateral markets, right? I mean, you have brides who are going to be doing gifts for their future husbands, and they are going to find a photographer to do them, and that photographer should be you. And how do I know this, right? Why did we even start doing boudoir? Well, there was a triple header wedding weekend that I had back in like 2015. And every single one of those weddings on a weekend, I photographed a groom opening a boudoir book that was photographed by another photographer. So on Monday, I came back in and I looked at my schedule. I had absolutely no time to take on a new genre of shoots or a new slate of shoots. And I went to my wife and I'm like, Jen, why don't you just take this? Like, why don't you take this over? You're a female. It'll be very easy to market. Jen was all for it, and away we went. So what we did was we started to give every single one of our brides a boudoir session. It wasn't even included on their package. It's something that we just gifted them, and we still do to this day after they book with us. And when we started doing that, our the amount of brides who ended up taking us up on these sessions was significant, and we found out over time that boudoir photos tended to be one of the most profitable genres of photography that we have, and they're very easy to book with zero advertising dollars, right? So you guys know this because I've already talked about this in prior Shutter Magazine videos of why I think it's important to do boudoir photography. But let's talk a little bit about how you can create better boudoir photos. Let's talk a little bit about the art and not so much about the business for a second. Your use of light, really important with boudoir photography. The reason why it's important is because we want to create shadow and dimension by utilizing light to sculpt our subjects, right? But oftentimes, if we create a little too much shadow, we can actually create texture, and we can emphasize things like cellulite or texture in the skin and things that are very hard to hide in boudoir where our subjects are not really wearing a lot of clothes, right? So understanding how to use lighting is really important. One of the tips that I want to leave you with when it comes to lighting for boudoir is to learn how to take advantage of lighting ratios. We want to make sure that we're utilizing fill lights to fill in some of the shadows on our couples or on our brides in this instance to not showcase all of their imperfections. The fill light can actually help hide that, and it does a really good job. And we started using fill lighting. It was years ago when I learned this technique, but when we did, it was like a whole light bulb went off because it allowed us to really control the shadow density in on our subjects, and it really made for better photos. And you'll see once you start utilizing that fill light and you start messing with the light ratio, you're going to have a much better overall image. The next thing I want to talk about is to utilize shadows to hide things that your subjects are not comfortable with. And how do you know what they're not comfortable with? Well, we send a questionnaire to our clients before every single boudoir shoot, and we learn about the things that they want us to emphasize and the things that they want us to hide. And if per se, a lot of times brides or our clients will say, hey, you know, I'm a little self-conscious about my arms, or maybe it's my hips, or whatever it may be. And when you know what those things are, you can utilize shadow to hide them and boost your client's confidence by showcasing the things that they absolutely love. And I know it's kind of cliche for us to say that our job as boudoir photographers is to boost our client's confidence, but it is really true. I mean, when you see a client, if you're not a boudoir photographer and you see a client see their photos for the first time and how it makes them feel, it's incredible. We one time did a boudoir giveaway and we interviewed our winners at the end of their shoot, and the number one thing that they kept saying was the boosting confidence and how they didn't believe that they could look like that. It was really fulfilling as an artist to be able to help somebody when it comes to that. Another thing that I want to suggest as a boudoir photographer for making sure that you can take better photos of your clients is to highly suggest hair and makeup, or even offer it in your packages as well. Not only is it good for your photos, but it's also really good for your client experience too. Part of the boudoir experience, if you will, is not just taking the pictures, right? It's coming in, picking the outfits, it's having a champagne toast, it's getting the hair and makeup done, it's having that like model for a day experience, which significantly increases your client's satisfaction with their images. And when you have clients who are happy, you have clients who spend more, right? our average for boudoir photography, average sale is close to $2,000 for a non-life event type of photography. That's a pretty significant amount compared to other things that are non-life events like yearly family photos, right? So boudoir can be incredibly rewarding, and it's also very easy to do if you are a wedding photographer as well. So make sure that you are adding this to your services if you're not doing it right now. A couple questions that I get asked, and this is more for the guys, right? How do you do photography, boudoir photography, if you are a guy? Well, as a wedding photographer, I don't think you should worry about that at all, because you've already formed a trust with your clients. So it takes that kind of like creeper factor away. As long as you're not a creeper, don't be a creeper, obviously. But if you form that relationship with your clients as a wedding photographer, getting them to do boudoir should not be hard at all. In fact, most of our clients don't even know that Jennifer's going to be the photographer until we straight up tell them, and it doesn't stop them from taking us up on the session. And there's plenty of male photographers that do this successfully as well too. So that's all the info that I have for you guys. Obviously, look through my my article for a lot of great information on taking better boudoir photos. If you guys have questions about boudoir, go ahead and shoot me an email at mike@elevateyourphotography.com. I'll be more than happy to answer them. We'll catch you next month in Shutter Mag.